our word of the day is spot. Spot. So I'd like you to use that word today. And I will be checking some of our, but we will not be too keen on technicals here. I think we will just be looking at the most commonly misused grammar, maybe. All right, so I will be reporting back later for that.
Great, good job. Doesn't seem like your first time. So in Toastmasters, it doesn't matter if it's your first time or not. We have scripts to help meeting roles. Those who are doing meeting roles, at least you'll feel comfortable when you do it. Okay, so since we have guests and since we have people here who's their first time to attend the Toastmasters meeting? Yeah, so we have several, and we have several.
It's my first time to attend an online meeting.
Yeah, and we also have several who are not are not members of Toastmasters yet. So we are a global international organization of 16,600 plus clubs around the world in 143 countries. So wherever you go, there's most probably a Toastmasters club in that country or in that city. So what we do is we go to the club and we do meeting roles, just like Toastmaster of the Day. We give speeches and we get evaluated for everything that we do. So that's basically the structure of a Toastmasters meeting. And as we do these roles, as we attend the meetings, we grow to be better speakers and better leaders. How do we grow as better speakers? Because we get to practice to speak, not just to speak, but we speak with a purpose. We speak with objectives. That is when we do our speech projects. We also speak and think on our feet when we do the impromptu sessions. And there's no other organizations in the world which can give you this platform. And also, that's the impromptu session and the prepared speech session. And most importantly, we have the evaluation sessions where our colleagues, our co-members, and our friends will evaluate us. We don't use the word critic, but we use evaluate because the purpose of evaluation is to encourage us to speak more and to encourage us to deliver more speeches and to be better speakers and leaders. So all of that is a journey. It's a process. It doesn't mean that you've attended one Toastmaster meeting or 3 meetings. After that, you're going to be a great speaker. With anything else, with any skill that we want to learn, it takes practice. It takes time to be great. So that's why we still continue to come and attend meetings, that even though we can't do live meetings, we still continue to do it online because we don't want to stop practicing. So what makes our online meeting different from the live one? Well, at least we have, for me personally, it can make our anxiety lesser. We won't get too excited or nervous speaking because we're just in front of the computer. But there's still a little anxiety right here and there, but not as much as when we stand in front of a live audience. And there are also challenges for us who are not technology savvy. Like we rattle, like what to click, what to do, and how do we appear in front of a camera, which is also an advantage because as we move on in this technology-driven world, where in the future, in the near future, which is actually happening right now, we do meetings online with our business partners, with our schools, with our colleagues, or with our staff. So it's also one great practice to do online meetings. So at the bottom of the screen, on the bottom left, you can see mute, you can see stop video. If you cough or if there's like a necessary noise in your area, you can mute yourself. Or if you wanna stand up or do something else, you can stop the videos. At least it won't distract our speakers. And during the speaking time later, we will mute everyone, so at least there will be no distractions. It's just a bit awkward. I'm gonna unmute you all right now. It's so awkward speaking and then nobody's like, I can't hear all your reactions, even just a little sound. So I think it's okay to unmute you for this time. All right, so now let's move on with our meeting. That's for the introductions. Now we have 3 parts: impromptu session, prepared speeches session, and the evaluation session. So impromptu session, that's where we think on our feet and we get to speak with a very short time. So we have the round robin and the table topic session. So for round robin, that's my session. And let me turn you over to our round robin master, Toastmaster Brian. Thank you, Toastmaster Brian. Okay, I'm back. Okay, round robin session. Mr. Timer, let's have 10 seconds. Each one will be given a chance to speak on a certain question, and then we're gonna do it by in order that I will call your name. Okay? So
10 seconds, I will show the red sign. Okay.
Yeah, after red sign, you have to stop speaking. So can you raise your hand if you can join? Or maybe some will just be observers? Okay? All right. So our round robin topic for today is if you will give or share a hotspot from your phone, what name would you put and why? So normally when we're outside and then when we start to turn on our Wi-Fi, we can see a lot of names. Some are first names, some are funny, some are weird. So if you are to assign a hotspot name for a hotspot that you're gonna share for everyone, what name will you put and why did you choose that name? So let's start with Toastmaster Anthony.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Yeah, okay.
I can hear you.
So my hotspot name is a very literal name. It's Anthony's iPhone because I'm just a very literal person and I like to call things what they are. And it's my iPhone and it's my name. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Next, let's go to Toastmaster James.
I don't know what my hotspot name is. I think it's just James iPhone. Pretty simple.
Why?
I'm not sure. How do I check? If I was to make one up, I'd probably be like Hot James.
Okay, thank you, James.
Hot
That's
James.
10 seconds right there. Now, Toastmaster Jag.
My timer's already on, so my hotspot name would be timer is on. No. I would rather say time's up because I'd like you to stop using my hotspot.
Okay, great. Next, DTM Tanu.
Yes, my hotspot name is Lung Nu. Lung Nu is my nephew, and my niece call me Uncle Nu. That is my name. So that's the reason.
Okay, thank you. Next, Nok Pham.
Hi everyone, today is my first time. So about your questions, my hotspot name is NG, and it's my English name. I changed from the default name in my phone because I like something. I want to show myself in sharing something.
Wow, thank you. Next, Ted, your turn.
My camera's working for about 2 seconds at a time. My hotspot name would be Brave Turtle because many years ago I got a random password. It was Brave Turtle, and that's so weird and funny that I use it everywhere. Or I would use some strange animal name if I had to.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ted. Now, Trong, your turn. What's your hotspot name? We cannot hear you. Your mic's not working.
Can't hear you.
Think you have to
Cannot
connect
hear
it?
you.
Nope.
Yes.
Hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yes.
Okay. Well, unlike other people, I never have a hotspot. But if I have, I won't be like Mr. Tamer. Won't let people use my hotspot. I will use my name for everyone, and they can use it every time, and if they want.
Oh,
That's my hotspot.
great. Thank you. And last one, Professor Sombun, what's your hotspot name? Unmute.
My hotspot name is Dumb Duck because it sounds quite smooth together, right? That's when I also before a long time back, we used the CB, on the CB only one way talking. So we said record 19 Dumb Duck. So that's what the name I use. But now I have two phones. Another phone I use a Smart Duck.
Ah,
So now I have two.
yeah.
One is Dumb Duck, one is Smart Duck.
Good. Okay, so others chose to just observe. So lastly, for my part, my hotspot name before was look for your own Wi-Fi. Greedy. Okay, thank you very much. Give yourselves a round of applause. That was a good job, and that was fun. Fun to know your creative names. Okay, so that was just a warm-up for our impromptu speaking. And we have a more serious one. Serious because you can have longer time to speak. And that's what we call the table topic session. And we have a table topics master who does that for us. He'll explain more about it. He's been a member of our club for 3 years. And before coming to Chiang Mai, he was a Toastmaster in Japan. But we can ask him if his Thai, is he Japanese or is he what? Let's welcome our table topics master, Toastmaster Ted.
I
Where are
need
you
to buy
from, Ted?
a camera before the next meeting. Okay, I'd like to start with one serious table topics question. How about I'd like to have an experienced person volunteer for this question. James, making the funny face.
Ted, 1 second. Can you tell us more? Because we have guests. Can you tell us more about table topics?
Okay. Table topics is, you have two 2 minutes, 1.5 minutes to 2.5 minutes to answer the question in any way you want. And a good way to answer is to first answer it, either yes, no, say the first thing that comes into your mind, then talk about reasons why. And when you see the red card, which means you're almost at the end, sum up in a short sentence. So you have, when you see the green card, Tanu, could you show that? So that means you've reached the minimum time. That's 1.5 minutes.
1 minute.
Sorry, 1 minute. Then at 1.5 minutes, you will see a yellow card. And at 2 minutes, you will see a red card. When you see the red card, you have 30 seconds to wrap up. Okay, so who would like to go first? How about Anthony? I can't hear you, Anthony.
Sure. Yeah, I'll go first. Why not?
Okay, the first question. Do you think that there should be free Wi-Fi in Chiang Mai? Why or why not?
So your question is, should there be free Wi-Fi in Chiang Mai? I think there should
Yes.
be free Wi-Fi everywhere, because think about all of the great businesses that will pop up if everybody knows that everybody else has internet connection all the time. And as internet connection grows around the world, it's enabled so many interesting businesses. Like, for example, you couldn't have Food Panda or Grab or Uber or businesses like that if a lot of people didn't have an internet connection. But if you gave everybody an internet connection, there'd be even more interesting businesses would pop up. And so I think it's a great idea not only to give free Wi-Fi in Chiang Mai, but to put it everywhere. And I actually think this is going to happen soon, because there's a man you might have heard of named Elon Musk, who is a very interesting businessman. And one of his ideas is to put up mini satellites to broadcast internet, free Wi-Fi everywhere over the world, even places where they can't get the cables in so easily. So you would probably benefit from that if you're in Chiang Mai. I don't think it's free, unfortunately, but I think over time it will be free. But I think the world will definitely be a more interesting place with lots more interesting businesses if we had free Wi-Fi in Chiang Mai and everywhere else. Back to you, Table Topics Master.
Thank you, Anthony. The next question, how about somebody from Vietnam? I see faces that look a little bit nervous, but I have an easy question prepared. Who would like to volunteer?
Trong, you wanna do? Trong? Ngok fam, you wanna do? Okay, raise your hand. The one who raises first get it.
Okay, great. So hotspot, as Brian said, has more than one meaning. Not only internet, but hotspot means exciting place. Tell me about one of your favorite hotspots in Vietnam. What is one hotspot in Vietnam? One exciting place.
So about one of the exciting place in Vietnam, I could suggest is Dawson Beach. Is a very beautiful beach in my city, and I could suggest it as one of the hotspot in Vietnam. The first reason is not only the beach, but it was also combined with the very beautiful long kind of mountains and kind of resort, casino, and everything can combine in one place, and it's kind of good place for your weekend. So that's what I can suggest in Vietnam. Me and my friends also choose this as my destinations in summer holiday and in vacations. We can spend time there for diving, for fishing, swimming, of course, and then we have kind of riding. You can imagine that we have a couple who can ride kind of a couple bicycle. We can ride it everywhere in the long beach. So really beautiful time. Is that over the green time?
Yes, great, thank you. Perfect timing.
Thank you.
The camera stopped halfway between my claps. I was going to go to Vietnam early in April for my education visa, but as you know, the country is now locked down. So in the future, I want to visit Vietnam. So,
yeah. I guess maybe in the June, maybe you can come. Until April, maybe not.
sometime in the future. Thank you.
Yeah, welcome.
Who would like to volunteer for our next question? Could somebody raise their hands? Oh, Sombong. Okay. Recently, the government here in Chiang Mai and in many places, the government has closed many entertainment hotspots. Do you think this is a good idea, or is it too much because people who work there can't get any money? So what do you think about the government closing hotspots during this crisis?
Well, thank you, Mr. Table Topic Master, fellow Toastmasters. I believe in two ways. If you don't close the entertainment place, then you will get blamed for not protecting your people. And then on the other hand, if you close the entertainment place, of course, the people who will have an impact on their work, and of course, the people like Toastmaster Tanu probably doesn't have any place to go. He probably complain a lot as well. So anyhow, I believe for the precaution, because we don't know how much it impact in terms of COVID now, it's better to take precaution to close down the place first. Otherwise, if it spreads so quick and so fast, then you don't have time to react. So by reacting first, and then take the precaution, maybe looking at the situation, how the situation is like for the next 14 or 15 days. And if everything is stable and everything is under control, then you kind of let it go. So I believe it would be a wise for the government to close for the precaution and for the safety. I guess the safety have to come first before the entertainment. And a lot of people can stay home and enjoy with their families. Like me, I am now enjoying with my family, which is I did not realize that I have until I cannot go anywhere else. So now I enjoy my family. I enjoy being with them, and I take this opportunity to slow down and really relax. So I believe probably good thing this happened, Mr. Table Topic Master.
Okay, thank you. So I think we have time for 2 more questions. Who would like to volunteer?
Yay!
Truong? Okay.
Trong, did you raise your hand?
Yes, I will. Yes.
Okay, great. Okay, so with COVID-19, it looks like your apartment will be your hotspot for the next few weeks. What do you plan to do for excitement in the next few weeks in your apartment?
Well, actually, I don't live in an apartment, but if I live in an apartment, and because of COVID-19, it affects us. maybe I just stay at home, find entertainment on internet like this, and maybe sometime reading a few books to gain me more knowledge. And now they are planning on many kind of this thing like and movie show, and I would love to watch it instead of going to movie theater.
Oh, okay.
I finished.
Thank you.
Answer.
You have more?
Sorry for too short.
Oh, okay. Thank you. So one more. We have time for one more question. Who would like the final question? Nobody is smiling. Oh, sorry. What's your name, Jahoy?
Jag.
Chad. That's right. I remember from last time. Chad, the final question is the same as the last question. If your home is your hotspot, what will you do for excitement?
Well, there's nothing too interesting. That's the worst part. That's the worst part of this pandemic. So we cannot really go outside. But I have here, right in front of me. So I should be touching that by now. I have also my ukulele, my guitar. I still have it there. I have plenty of books here. So I don't think it will be boring at all. And especially here, at least our tennis court is still open and the field is still open for running. So, well, we still go and exercise. My parents told me, hey, don't go outside, but at least it's different here in Thailand. At least it's still open, tennis court still open, the track and field still open. So we can still enjoy it, so many things to do. And we have the internet, that's the best part. So if this would have happened 10 years ago, 20 years ago, that would probably be difficult, right? The situation would be really difficult, perhaps. But for now, especially me, I'm living alone. So I still can connect with with them. And I think the most important part maybe is connecting with my parents, with the loved ones. Professor Sumbon a while ago just said he was amazed with what the enjoyment he has with his family. He didn't realize that before, not only until he has experienced it. And yeah, I connect with them very often. So now I have time for them to connect with my sister and my family too. That's all. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So that's all the time for our Table Topics session. Thank you very much for answering, and thank you for your courage for first-time answerers. And I'd like to return control to our Toastmaster of the day, Brian.
Thank you very much.
Not walking up on stage.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ted, our Table Topics master. Can we give him a round of applause for those great questions? Yeah, they were all patterned from our theme, Hotspot. And it seemed like it was very easy for our respondents to answer and give their opinion to those questions. So now, if you go to the chat box, this is the first time we're gonna try it. So let's try to vote for our best table topic speaker. Can you click on the link? It will direct you to Google Forms, and then you can get to choose one of our 5 speakers, and then we can see later who is our best table topic speaker. Can we do it within 2 minutes? Okay, can see one response now. The link is in our chat box. Okay, timer, please give us 2 minutes for voting. 4 responses. Wow, that's quick. Welcome, Matra Yochan. Can you hear us? Where are you from? And are you a Toastmaster? Or can you hear us, Matra? You can just come and observe. Welcome to the meeting. 4812. Okay, I've got 6 responses. I have to vote myself for myself.
I don't know where to go for the vote.
It's in the chat box, and then you can see the link.
In the chat?
Yeah, in the chat box. You see the link there? It will bring you
And what
to
is the
Google
link
Forms.
name?
Just
From-
click on that.
I don't see anything.
So at the bottom of the screen, there's a chat icon. If you click that,
Yes, I hit the
box
chat.
appears.
I hit the chat, but I don't see anything in there. Oh, hang on.
Okay, let me.
I saw participation.
Okay, let me copy paste it again. Maybe you logged in late. There you go.
Okay.
See that?
My internet is slow.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so maybe you can just vote as we continue with our meeting. All right, so
Yes,
that
yes.
ends our impromptu session. The round robin and table topics. Okay, so now let's move on to the next part of the meeting, which we call prepared speeches session. So this part is only reserved for members because when you sign up as members of Toastmasters, you will be given a link, a username and a password, which will direct you to the Toastmaster website where you can look into the projects, which we call pathways. So pathways will direct you with your speeches. It can give you your objective. What is the speech all about? It can guide you how to make a speech, and it can also give you some video trainings for some and guidelines on how to prepare and deliver that speech. So for our speaker today, we have one prepared speech, and he will be speaking on his Pathways Level 2, Project 1, Understanding Your Communication Style. There is an objective for this, and that will be read to us by his evaluator, Toastmaster Anthony. What is his speech objective?
Yes, and Brian, I apologize if I am reading the wrong bit. This is the first time I've done an evaluation under the new system. So I think...
Read the purpose statement.
The purpose statement, sure.
Yes.
So the purpose of this project is to learn about different communication styles and to identify your primary style.
That's it. Thank you. So our speaker for today is our guest member. He is a member in a Toastmasters Club in China. And while having his holiday in Thailand, there had a problem in his city, so he wasn't able to go back. So he's stuck here with us in Chiang Mai. And that is a good thing also because he has joined our club for several meetings. And right now he's joined us here even online. His speech title is Let's Go on a Trip, No Masks Needed. Let's welcome Toastmaster James. Let's go on a trip, no masks needed. Take it away.
About you, but I'm starting to feel the strain of this virus. The news, social media, my finances, the safety of my family, and every day the situation is changing. And there seems to be a great deal of uncertainty about it. But not only that, we're currently having to adapt to a life we're not accustomed to. The limitations on things we can usually do, where we can go, and who we can meet. We're being forced to stay indoors, distance ourselves from people. Therefore, we're spending a lot more time in front of screens, such as on our phones, TVs, and computers, just as we're doing right at this moment. But don't get me wrong, these screens are keeping us connected, informed about the virus, and maybe we're able to keep working also. But just like anything, you change your diet, your job, your fitness plan, and your body and mind take some time to adapt to these changes. And it can be a little bit unsettling. And it's very easy with a virus like the corona, the COVID, to just consider the physical symptoms and neglect these psychological symptoms. However, it is even more important at a time like this to pay attention to our mental health. As well as the more obvious impacts of self-isolation, not getting out to work and exercise, meeting people, studies have shown that too much screen time can cause a negative effect to our health, such as attention and focus issues, anxiety, mood disorders, and sleep problems. So, what can we do about this? Okay, so let's go back. So we're going to go on a trip. Just like when you've worked for months and you need a holiday to refresh, but not as you might think. We're not going to need any masks for this one, okay? So what I'm going to do is lead us onto a journey with our minds, okay? First of all, we're going to start off with some breathing techniques to calm our minds and bodies, and we're going to go close our eyes to practice a visualization exercise. But don't worry if you're finding it difficult, just listen to me as if it's another speech. So what we're going to do, if you're not already seated, I'm sure you're already comfortable, but we're going to start off with some deep breathing, okay? Inhale through your nose and exhale through your mouth. Nice and slow. Inhale through your nose and out through your mouth. And now I want you to close your eyes. Everyone, I want you to close your eyes and continue to think about your breath. Just relax to a normal breathing rate which you're comfortable with. Just focus on your breath. Now I want you to think about any sounds you hear, any smells, and the touch of your body against your chair, your feet on the ground, and wherever your hands may be. Now back to your breath. Think about your breath, but now I want you to imagine you're at the sea. You're looking into a vast, calm ocean. It's calm, it's still, and the sun is starting to set. You feel the warmth of the sun on your face, and it's showing the most beautiful, glowing sky. Also, I want you to try and imagine all the people you care about, your friends, your loved ones, your family, are there with you enjoying this experience. The sun sets, but you still see a glimmer of light reflecting on the ripples of the water. And you just listen to the sound of the sea calmly and softly. Now I want you to come back to your breathing. And now I want you to open your eyes. How was that for you guys? Okay, maybe you found it a little bit difficult to focus and concentrate. That's okay. Sometimes these things take practice. But I want to ask you, what was the point of it? Well, firstly, it gave our eyes and minds a rest from all these screens. Of course, it was a just short practice for time restriction factors today. But secondly, despite everything we're going through currently, we're able to step back from this place of stress, fear, and uncertainty to another place of calm, quiet, and more comforting place in our minds. But not to say that this other place isn't important, but it just helps to manage to free ourselves from these difficulties that I mentioned earlier. Now, what we did was a practice called mindfulness, and this can be applied to any situation. It may help you focus, increase awareness, decrease stress and fear and so much more. But I just want to keep this simple today. You know, they say we humans only use 10% of our brains. Okay, let's give the scientists the benefit of the doubt. So what about the other 90%? Okay, how about this? We make this other 90% a space we can sometimes visit, a space big enough for the ocean, a sunset, and whoever wants to share this moment with us too. So next time you feel like things are getting a bit too much for you, take some deep breaths, close your eyes, and just remember the other place of peace and calm. I hope to see you again there soon. Thank you. Okay. How are they going? I think my connection went. Oh, what happened? Did you hear me okay?
Yes, could hear you fine.
Fantastic. Yeah. More difficult than I thought. Because one line's harder. Yeah, probably might have needed some more practice. Anyway.
Okay, great, good job. No wonder I've been talking. I wasn't able to unmute myself. So thank you very much, James. There was a little of connection problems, but it didn't bother to put your message across, and you were able to pull it through amidst the connection problem, as if like there's just nothing happened. So as what we say, whatever happens, the show must go on and just continue. So good job, well done. And like what I was saying before I was unmuted, no wonder that when you said let's go on a trip with no masks needed, given that the situation right now need us to wear masks, that's because it was a journey or a trip within our own selves. So that was a good exercise. Thank you very much. And that's our prepared speech session for tonight. Now, moving on, we are down to our general evaluation session. And this will be led by a general evaluator with his team. So our general evaluator right now is actually a Thai national, but currently residing in Cambodia. He has been instrumental in building several clubs, including PUC, if I'm not mistaken. He was one of the founding members of PUC Toastmasters Club in Phnom Penh, Cambodia. We're very glad to have with us also a member of Thailand Online Toastmasters Club. That's where I first met him there, Toastmaster Somboon. The floor is yours, Toastmaster Somboon.
Thank you, Toastmaster Brian, for a great introduction. And this is the second part, the third part of the meeting, where it reflects of the meeting like a mirror to see what are we doing, how can we correct, and how can we improve. This is probably the most education part of the Toastmaster meeting. Okay, and again, I'd like to thank you for inviting me to join with the meeting today. With Toastmaster Tanu. Okay, and I'd like to ask Toastmaster Tanu on the timing for the table topic and for the speaker, please.
Thank you, General Evaluator, fellow members, and honored guests. May I report the time of our meeting today? Actually, I posted on the chat box already, but we will repeat again. The table topic session, the first respondent, Toastmaster Anthony, 1 minute and 44 seconds. And the second respondent, Ngok Farm, you took 1 minute and 34 seconds. The third respondent, Toastmaster Somboon, 2 minutes and 13 seconds. And number 4, Toastmaster Truong, you took 47 seconds. And the last respondent, Toastmaster Jack, future Toastmaster Jack, 1 minute and 54 seconds. Well done, everyone. Try to use more time because you have 2 minutes. And would you like me to report the time
The
of
speaker, please, for the speaker.
Okay, thank you. James took 5 minutes and 59 seconds. Time allowed 5 to 7 minutes. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And now it is my privilege to introduce Anthony, who will evaluate our speaker, Toastmaster James. Please help me to welcome Toastmaster Anthony.
Thank you, Mr. General Evaluator. So tonight I'm evaluating James's speech, which was entitled, "Let's Go on a Trip, No Masks Needed." So the purpose of James's speech is for him to learn about different communication styles and to identify his primary style and share the impact of this style on the audience. Now, James has a very versatile communication style, and he used it in a really unique way in this particular speech, and that was to give us a guided meditation. And I especially liked how he used his voice control to convey different emotions like calmness, and also to actually guide us through a process. I think it takes a very distinct communication style to actually get people to actually take an action on what you're speaking about. Another thing that I really enjoyed with James's speech is that although he had a few video issues, I like that he didn't let it faze him, and he continued in a way that minimized the interruption, not making a big deal out of it and just resuming, and that's a great way to deal with that. So one thing he could work on, I think, is, so one of the challenges obviously of video-based speeches, and maybe this is the first time you've done one, I'm not sure, but you can't always hear exactly what everyone says because, you know, we've got microphone issues, we've got weird acoustic noises. So when you're giving, I think, instructions for the audience to do something, like, you know, through a guided meditation, it's probably a good idea to go over those slowly and maybe even repeat them. And maybe you can even sort of check the video and see that everybody is following along. Because for me, at first, I wasn't quite following along, and then I sort of only got in halfway, and I would have liked to have gotten in from the beginning. One of the things I'd also like to know a little bit more about how you got into mindfulness and why that's important to you. So overall, I think James has done a very unique and interesting speech, and I'll be looking forward to his next one, and I'll also be looking forward to one of his meditation classes if he ever holds one. So thanks very much, James, and that concludes my evaluation. So I'll hand it back to Mr. General Evaluator. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster James. I like the way you evaluate our speaker. I like how you analyze the speaker, how did he do step by steps, and then at the same time you give some recommendation to improvement. This is very add value to the speakers. And also at the end you encourage him to give some more speech, and then maybe you want to join the meditation class. I would love to join his meditation class as well. And I do really appreciates our speaker, James. I think he is really, what should I say, try to experiment out of the box, because he went out and did the stand up, in front of the camera, which is gonna take me a while before I can have nervous to do that. And yet when there's something, a glitch into the system, then he just move on without having to worry about it. And I enjoy your speech very much, and I feel relaxed when you took us to the trip, which is enjoyable. So let's give both of them a round of applause. Okay, Mr. Timer, can I have a timer for Anthony, please?
The time for Anthony, the evaluator, 2 minutes and 52 seconds. Very good time.
Thank you very much. Very good. Okay. Now we have an R counter, right? Can we have our R counter to report on the R counter, please?
Not so bad, not so bad, but I'm sure you can guess where most of the R's and Ums occurred, and that was the impromptu and table topic. That's usually where the most R's occur because it's unprepared. Okay, so if I just go through the main numbers I picked up. Sorry if I get your name wrong, but is it Knock? Oh no, they've gone. Not Pam, gone, I think. Oh yeah, she's still there. You got a couple of ums. But not so bad, you know. And Sombak Prof. You were the king today. You were the king, despite all the great, stuff you've given us. You did win the most R's and ums. True. I think you got. It doesn't really matter how many you got. True. Sorry about the names. Tron. You got a couple in the table topic, but as it was your first one, that's pretty good. And should. Where are you? There you are. You got a couple too, but I think all in all, guys, pretty good today. I think I had a few as well after I spoke. I realized tonight, but well done. Thanks very much.
Thank you very much. Do we have a Gumarian Toastmaster, Mr. President? No Gumarian today, right?
Yes, we have grammarian.
Yes, we do. We have Jack.
Oh, we do. Okay. Yeah. Can I have our grammarian to report on the uses of English, please?
General Evaluator, fellow Toastmasters, ladies and gentlemen, grammar too is important in public speaking, especially for us to convey the right message. But since our Toastmasters Club is founded with mostly non-native speakers, we are a bit lenient on the grammar blunders that we commit. Tonight, I actually just focused on the redundant words, just like I, myself, well, actually, for me personally, in conversation, this is perfectly fine, but since you would like to be better off in our speaking, so we would like to focus on them. There are so many interesting words. Let me just go first to our word of the day, spot. We did not hear that very often, except for the table topics, because our table topics was, no, not a table topics. Our warm-up activity was on spots itself. So we kept on repeating that word. But what I'd like to share to you instead is this wonderful word. It's actually common, perhaps, for you. But the word used by James a while ago, he used the word rippling waves. I really like that because a ripple is a small wave on the surface, such as the ripple that forms a ring around the spot where you threw a people into the spot. All right, so I guess that's it from me. Let us just take this opportunity to learn and become better public English speakers. Back to you, our general.
Mr. GE, can I interject? Part of
Thank you.
grammarian, can I interject, Mr. GE?
Sure.
When our accountant James delivered his report, he has been mentioning a couple of, a couple of, a couple of. So did you mean a literal two or a few as part of our grammar lesson? James?
Yes.
Yeah. When you delivered your
I didn't
report,
really want to say exactly how many. Probably like a couple, meaning two. A couple meaning two, yeah.
So it was literal for two. Okay, thank you.
Yeah,
We have learned something new today. Back to you, Mr. GE.
Thank you. Actually, the grammarian is the one that I'm so afraid to be one of them, because I abuse the language so much that even though they make a mistake, I still think they are doing okay. Okay, thank you very much. Now it's time for me to evaluate the meeting as a whole, as the general evaluator for us to, so that we can improve. And I do appreciate Toastmaster Tanu to take this accident that happening here turn into opportunity to be an online meeting for the Chiang Mai Toastmaster, which is great. And I believe that's how we meet each other here and how we explore the new way of communication. I think this is probably the future way of communication anyway. So I do appreciate you give us opportunity to meet here. Okay, let's go to the meeting. I believe the meeting we start a little bit late, maybe because of the technical and the new to us. And I also came in a little bit late because of my network doesn't work the way I wanted to. Okay, but our president opened the meeting by talking about the theme of the day and kind of like introduce everybody so that everybody feel like warm and welcome. So a very good way of opening up the meeting. Thank you very much. And then for our Toastmaster of the day, I think he did a very good job, Toastmaster Brian. You have a lot of energy. You start the meeting, and this is what, because of the energy that you create at the beginning, it carry out to make it so that everybody tap into your energies and reflect a good meeting. Okay. And I like the way when you introduce the pathway as well. You talk about the pathway and for the speakers and so on. So which is excellent. Okay. One thing I like about you is a lot of energies. Okay. Go to our table topic of the day. Ted, you did a very good job. All of those the question that you have is a challenge and yet easy for us to answer. Okay, and then it aligned with the theme of the hotspot and a good timing as well. That everybody kind of like in the same situation of the hotspot. A couple of things that I like to my suggestion to you is never ask for volunteer. You just go in there and pick the person that you do it, because when you ask for the volunteer, then the person that needs to speak the most probably will not raise the hand, just point it out. This way he save the time. And then the second thing that I like to ask advice is ask the question first. and then point to the person. But if you point to the person first or ask for the volunteer first, and then let's suppose you ask the question first, then I get really nervous. Oh no, is he gonna ask me? So I have very, more active listening. But when you ask the person first, and then you ask the question, then he doesn't ask me, so I don't have to really listen to it. Okay, so this is my suggestion. But overall, I think you did a wonderful job. Your question is great. Everybody understand your question. You don't have to ask twice. Okay, and so for the meeting, I enjoyed the meeting very much, and I do appreciate for Toastmaster Tanu, the president, to invite me to join, and I'd like to return the control back to our Toastmaster of the day.
A round of applause to our general evaluator. Thank you. And to the general evaluation team. Good job, everyone. And now we're almost at the end of our meeting, and we're almost on time. So thank you all for joining. And as we end, let ourselves be an entertainment hotspot rather than the dangerous hotspot. And in this time, let's be a hotspot of positive connection in our workplace and in our community. We will see you again on, this is the fourth Sunday. We'll see you again on the second Sunday of April. That's on the 12th. Wow, that's a long time. That's Songkran time. So maybe our theme will be about Songkran. No Songkran in Thailand, but we're gonna have it here online. So thank you all for coming. And we hope in Haiphong that you were able to pick a thing or two so that when you do your meeting in your city, you can be great and you'll be more excited to do it. Thank you very much. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. We have five people from Haiphong. Thank you for coming. And now I'm gonna turn the control back to our club president, who just happened to win second place at our division level international speech contest this afternoon. And he is eligible, or he will move on to the district international speech contest in May. So let's congratulate him as I turn over back the control to DTM Tanu. Thank you.
Thank you. Toastmaster of the day. Brian, you did a wonderful job. I do agree with our general evaluator, Toastmaster Somboon, that you put the energy at the beginning of the meeting, and then the energy still lasts until the end of the meeting. So that is a very important role for the Toastmaster of the day. Thank you for that. And I'd like to share with you something. My speech today that I won the second place is do it when you are not ready. And this is an example also. We are not ready at all about online meeting, but we decided to have online meeting because we know that we cannot join a physical meeting anywhere at this time. So for the benefit of members and guests, all the officers agree that we should have an online. And it's very good that our district allow us to use the Zoom account free of charge. So we don't have to pay anything. That is good. And you may join another online club around the world at this time without pay the airfare, right? Without paying airfare. It's good opportunity. We must thank COVID-19 instead of hating COVID-19, right? Because it make us come close together even more than before. That's what I really love about COVID-19. Is that correct, James? So Any comment from our guest from Haiphong? We would love to hear your comment before we end the meeting. So I can see Farm, you may want to say something. Please do so, Farm.
It's my first time and I'm not a member yet, but I would like to appreciate the Toastmaster and also the host today, the president and also professor to give it a chance to observe and to know how the meeting is running. It's not a physical one, it's online one is really useful and I really love to see you again next time.
Your English is very good, Noah.
Thank you. And the last word I could give the praise to James because I really enjoyed his speech. Just despite some just some connections problems, so at some point I cannot catch his voice. But it's really amazing with the meditation, something like that. That's all.
Thank you, Farm. And may I hear some comments from our friends from Naresuan University? Jack, please. Jack, any comment?
Oh yeah. All right. So thank you
Please.
very much for inviting me as well. And I'm glad to have this one as well, especially online. It's really amazing. And we had it here. You had the demonstration here. It was nice, amazing, but we are all hesitant to proceed immediately as what we would have liked to have because of the virus. But now I'm seeing it as it's still a possibility. Yeah, and we are doing it even when we are not ready. And we will have to. This may not be the best in this case, but we will improve, certainly. That's for sure. So I can still tell them, we can still spread the word. We can do it. I mean, not the best thing yet, but we will improve. There's no way going back anyway. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jack. Yes.
Thank you.
And any comment from Haiphong? Yeah. One more comment from Haiphong. Guest, please. Turong, any comment?
Oh,
No?
they put it on the chat.
Okay, Turong.
Yeah. Well, it's very great to be here and listen to you guys. And since I can't talk too much because we got interrupted by some people, but I'm very glad to be here. Thank you.
Glad to have you, Trong.
Thank you. Nice to have you all from Haiphong. And we hope you can officially start a new club. Yes. Even though we have this tough situation right now, we can do it. Yes. So thank you very much, everyone who attend us.
One more thing.
Yes, please.
The tally. Who won the table topic?
Yes, space table topics. And our best table topic speaker is it's you, Toastmaster Sombon.
Toastmaster Sombon. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well done.
With the voting online. Thank you.
Yeah, it was a close fight, very tight.
So we'll give you this award. This for your online award. Yes, the green. You can use this as a green card to the USA right now. Maybe you don't want to go, right? Okay, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much, and see you next time on the 12th of April.
Do we get?
Yeah, we have a group photo. Can you?
Thing?
I will capture the screen. Can you do something crazy?
What is it,
No, I wanted to say a couple. After the meetings, we usually have a coffee and a cake. Maybe we could introduce this thing.
Okay. We can stay on. 1, 2, 3. Yay! One more. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Bye bye.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Bye bye. Bye bye. Okay.